For the discerning motorcyclist, Moto Guzzi has always had a unique and elegant offering, and that is in the form of the V7 Special. And here we have two beautiful specimens from a decade apart. In previous episodes, we've shared with you the life story and the origins of the very iconic Moto Guzzi V-twin transverse motor. We've also had a closer look at the third edition limited V7 Carbon, as well as the third edition V7 Racer. Today we're here in the sunshine with two very special Moto Guzzi V7s in the form of the V7 Special, a decade apart. On my right here, it's the 2012 first edition V7 Special. On my left, the latest incarnation V7 Special. Now let's have a look at them individually. This is the 2012 Moto Guzzi V7 Special. Now this is still classified as a first edition, even though the bike was launched in 1967 as a V7 and this is a 2012. And the reason for that, this is the most accurate or closest relative to the original. And it strikes the perfect balance between modern and tradition. Now let's have a look at tradition. Now you start off with the traditional spoked wheels, the traditional V-twin transverse motor, shaft drive, the two cigar type exhausts either side. You have the bench type seat with the proudly displayed Moto Guzzi name on the back. This tank is closest to the 1971 V7 Sport. Even the badging here is not a decal or in the spray job, it is a metal badge. You have up front in the cockpit the dual clock. Now that is pretty much the traditional V7, and the modern spin on it, you obviously got the more modern and upgraded suspension, the better brakes, the weight is reduced, and most importantly you have the newer generation motors. Originally it was a 700cc, it is now a 750, more accurately a 744cc, this motor being more economical, more powerful and even more reliable. Now let's have a look at the individual specs. Starting off with the very iconic motor, it is your traditional V-twin 90-degree transverse air-cooled motor, known as a 750, but it's a 744cc, putting out 51 horsepower, 58 newton meters, going through a single plate dry clutch, 5-speed gearbox, shaft drive to the rear. Wheels and tires up front, an 18-inch spoked rim with a 100mm tire, at the back 17-inch spoked rim with 130mm tire. Your tank has a capacity of 22 liters. The bike has a very low dry weight of 179 kilograms, which puts the wet weight at about the 200 kilogram mark. Also, the seat height is a very low 805 millimeters. Last but not least, this tiny little fly screen was one of the two options that was offered for the V7 Special in 2012. The other one was the leather saddlebags. And you will also notice these slim silencers were an aftermarket, much smaller than the original. Now let's compare this bike to the latest evolution, the 2021 V7 Special. Enter the 2021 V7 Special. 2021 is a very special year for the company Moto Guzzi, and the reason for that is that they are celebrating their 100-year anniversary. And for this centenary, they decided to revamp the entire V7 range. And the single biggest change would be that the old 750 motor has been upgraded to an 850cc, which is a very close derivative of the V85 TT Tutto-Terrano adventure bike, which we've also reviewed in another episode. And that is the reason they dropped the Roman numerals. You will see in the other bikes we've reviewed, the Carbon and the Racer had the Roman numeral after the V7, referring to the third edition. This is the fourth edition or evolution of the V7, however the Roman numeral has been dropped. Another interesting fact, in the full designation of this bike, it's known as the Moto Guzzi V7 Special E5, and that odd appendage E5 refers to the fact that this bike is now conformant to the very stringent Euro emissions 5. Alright, other upgrades to this bike where it deviates from the previous bike we looked at would be it has ABS now, the full lighting is LED, headlights as well as indicators, and lastly the MGCT, which is the Controllo di Trazione, the traction control this bike has. Other than that, the bike is very traditional, true to its original, with the spoked wheels front and back, the cigar type dual exhaust, the transfer layout air-cooled motor, the shaft drive, single plate dry clutch. However, from a 5-speed, this is now a 6-speed, and bench type seat, traditional tank, the proudly displayed Moto Guzzi name at the back of the seat. So real heritage, true to the original and tradition. Now let's compare the specs of the 2012 model to this 2021 and see how this bike has improved. Comparing specs, the 2012 versus the 2021, used to be a 744cc motor, now 853cc. Used to put out 51 horsepower, 65 horsepower, 58 newton meters, 73 newton meters. The single plate dry clutch remains the same, however gearbox went from a 5-speed to a 6-speed, shaft drive to the rear remained the same. Front wheel and tyre stayed the same at a 18-inch with a 100mm tyre. The back, the tyre changed, remained a 17-inch, however went from a 130 to a 150 back tyre. The tank capacity went from 22 litres to 21 litres, however still gives you with the efficiency 350 to 400 kilometers. The dry weight of this bike went up slightly from 179 kilograms. This is 203 kilograms dry weight, so it'll put it at about 225 kilos wet weight. Other nice features would be it retained the dual clocks up in front, however slightly more information, also combination analog and digital, and this side cover kept the little features of these grooves from the old one. As you see this bike in front of me here, stock standard, no options fitted off the accessories catalog as yet. Having these two beauties stand side by side, the keen eye would notice things such as the diameter of the header pipes as well as the diameter of the rear coils on the shocks, much bigger and beefier on the 4th edition, showing you that it is the bigger, more powerful bike, the 850cc. On a last note, we'd like to give a big thumbs up and thank you to SPK Italian Sunglasses, who are our sponsors and look after us in this bright South African sunshine. If you'd like to see the SPK offerings and pricing, please go to our Route 21 Africa e-commerce site. And remember to keep those comments coming and give us a like and subscribe to see what's up next.